Self-esteem is called self-esteem for a reason. There are so many people who have been let down, and because they've been let down in their life, it broke their self-esteem, and it's been hard for them to get it back. You can tell a lot about a person's self-esteem based on the way that they walk. They don't even have to say anything. You can tell a lot about a person's self-esteem by the way they show up for themselves. You don't have to say anything. And what I observe is a lot of people have low self-esteem by the way they walk, by the way they dress. You can just look at them and see it. I'm here to tell you that it takes, that's what I was saying. Like, a lot of people allow things that defeated them in their life to bring down their self-esteem. And I can understand from a perspective of, okay, yes, you may have lost something, you have mourned someone or lost someone or gone through this or gone through that. And when you tell other people that you've gone through similar experiences, but maybe the person's still around, like someone has died in your life, but they're still around, but they died to you. People think you can't relate or you don't mourn the same because that person is still here. Well, I'm here to tell you, just because you mourn a person and they're still here doesn't mean you didn't lose them. That happens a lot. And I was walking from the Starbucks because I was like, oh, I used to have coffee and chat with the girls. I'm gonna go get coffee, but I don't have nobody to chat to. And I told the lady that my name was Beautiful. And when it was time to call my name, she didn't want to make eye contact. She didn't want to look up, and I could just tell by the way she was dressed. Granted, she's at work, but I could tell by the way that she was walking that she had very low self-esteem. And to hear someone call themselves beautiful, that made her not want to say it out loud to even herself. And you're like, oh, Akiela, how can you pick this all up? How can you pick this up on a worker? By the way she walked, by the way she said it out loud. Most people at Starbucks be like, Beautiful, or Tom, or Carl, or Betty, or Boop, or whoever name they're calling, they said out loud. But this one particular girl, I seen her with my drink, and she walked over with her head held down, and she was like, Beautiful. And when no one addressed the drink, she just she just sat it there and walked away. And I was just looking like, damn, I don't even know if my mic is on. Oh, yeah, so I was like, damn, I'm going to make a video talking about self-esteem and how important it is to build your own self-esteem. One of the biggest reasons why I could walk inside of a club and dance like nobody's business is because I have high self-esteem. And I don't know anybody in this club. When I go into places where I don't know absolutely anyone, I transmuted the energy from, oh, I don't know anybody in here, so I'm going to be super shy, to, oh, I don't know anybody in here. That's the reason why I'm going to show the fuck out. That's the reason why I'm going to get up and dance. That's the reason why I'm going to get up and do me. And I see butterflies as I talk because butterflies are a sign of transformation for me. But I wanted to get on here and address self-esteem because I feel like a lot of you all are lacking self-esteem, which boils down to the lack of self-belief in yourself. And then you go and you show up in the world and you wonder why your life is the way that it is. You wonder why you're experiencing the things that you're experiencing. You wonder why you go through the things that you're going through. I honestly believe because it's a lack of self-esteem. Like, it's a lack of self-belief. Like, when you wake up in the mirror, I know that it sounds very minuscule, but one of the things that makes me excited about waking up is just the fact that I woke up. Just that alone gives me confidence and self-esteem and belief in myself, because a lot of people, I know some people who were in perfect health, and they woke up and they didn't wake up one morning. They just passed away in their sleep. So to me, that frightens me, and I knew them personally, And I just feel like a lot of people take that for granted. So that's one way I build it from, and it's so small. The second way I build my self-esteem is by looking into the mirror and speaking affirmations. At this point, I stand guard at the door of my mind, and I don't allow anything to enter my mind, my heart, or my soul without first observing, vetting. And yes, I do allow people close to me, but after I vetted them and feel like they're no longer best for me, I eradicate them as soon as possible. But one of the reasons why I wake up with high self-esteem is because I look into the mirror and I believe in myself, and I speak a message to myself every fucking day, or I just push through. And it's challenging. Trust me, it's challenging because I'm by myself. But what I have to realize is that, bitch, who gives a fuck? Like, who gives a fuck? You came into this world alone. You're gonna leave this world alone. Nobody gonna be in your casket with you. Like, and who gives a fuck what people got to think? A lot of people don't even believe in themselves. That's another reason that give me self-esteem, is the fact that I know that people don't believe in themselves. So they're out here projecting into the world when they don't even fucking believe in themselves. They just get up, go to work. They're living in a simulation, and they're happy to be living in it because they're not, quote unquote, woke. So they like, who the fuck are they? So to me, I just, all from going to Starbucks and getting my cup of coffee this morning, I sat back and observed, and I watched how many people were walking with their shoulders slumped, with a hump in their back. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to make a video about the low self-esteem. Posture plays a huge role. I guarantee you, I'm just saying, you could do that. You could take it as a social, if you don't believe me, take it, you could do a social experiment and go out into the public and watch people walk. People watch and look at how people walk, and then go up to the person who was just walking with a hump in their back and ask them. I guarantee you some shitty shit happened in their life, and now they have a lack of self-belief in themselves, and now they're walking like that because of some shit that happened years ago, and they're still holding that trauma in their body. That's how deep self-esteem go. It shows, because a lot of the things that you suppress, your feelings that you suppress, and the things that you suppress, you don't think that just because you think that because you're not talking about it, it's been suppressed and it's not being brought up. Well, it's actually showing in your external world, because so within, so without, as above, so below. And when you are walking around with a hump in your back, people like me are observing you, and I realize that you got some shit that you're still holding on to your life, or you got some shit that you have a lack of self belief in yourself, and it is so obvious, and it just makes me a little bit sad, because I feel as though, you need to believe in yourself. Who gives a fuck who don't believe in you, your inventions, your dreams? Who gives a fuck about who broke your heart when you was in high school? Who cares? Who gives a fuck about, I was talking to a billionaire. And he was telling me how he has imposter syndrome from working so hard to be in that position. And you would never fucking know that this man has imposter syndrome. You would never fucking know, because of how he presents himself. But I started observing the way he walks. Nothing else. I observed the way he walks, and then I pointed out the way he walks, and I started talking to him and getting to know him on a deeper level. And he told me he has imposter syndrome. He has a lack of self-belief in himself. Even though he's worked so hard to be as successful as he is, he still has a lack of self-belief in himself, low self-esteem, and he has imposter syndrome. But it's a false facade that he puts up as confidence to show people who he really is. Like, he shows people the fake version of him, so nobody really gets close. But me, I look at the small things. I look at how you walk. I look at the way you talk. I look at the way you present yourself. I look at the shit that you're doing, the shit that you're going through. I look at your boundaries. I look at the things that you accept and don't accept in your life. Once I'm talking to you and I get all this information from you and I'm gathering data, it tells me much more about who you are than you know yourself. And I can see it, like see straight through you like a glass, and I'll be like, you know what, let's work on that. But sometimes you can start pouring so much energy into somebody else that you forget, it becomes draining, and then you pull back and just pour it back into yourself. But yeah, I learned all that this morning from walking, and I learned from the billionaire that he had he was putting on a fake facade in front of me, and he really had low self-esteem and low confidence in himself because he had imposter syndrome from becoming so successful, and then the people around him that aren't successful, and here he is taking care of everybody around him, and it's draining him, and he walking around with his head low, his chin low, walk around like this, like nothing. He's not crying or anything, he just walks like this with his head down. And I seen it, and I was just like, why the fuck this man walk like this? And then I started realizing how many other people walk just like him. But because I got close to him, and because he's a billionaire, I talked to him and I spoke to him and I let him know that I see this in you. I don't know where it comes from, but we need to fix it. And he eventually told me, you know, I have imposter syndrome and I have a lack of self-belief in myself. And it took some time. It took me a while to get this information from him, like over a year. But when I got it, I realized what was the root of his problem. I pointed out the root of the problem, and he's working on it today. He's working on it today. He always be like, Akiela, you made a real impact in my life. Like, Akiela, you really made an impact in my life. It helped me believe in myself. You've seen things that other people didn't see. It's like, I can't wear a facade in front of you. I can't wear a mask in front of you. You're going to see right through me, which led him to lack of eye contact. And that's another reason I can tell with some shit going on with somebody, because they don't want to look you in the eyes. You need to look me in my eyes. And when you don't want to look me in my eyes, I know there's a problem. But we'll talk about that another day. Leave your comments down below on your self-esteem, self-belief, confidence, self-confidence, because everything that happens inside of you is happening on the outside of you, and all as above, so below, as within, so without. So yeah, I just want to share that quick message with you and encourage you to always believe in yourself, always stand up for yourself, because when you walk into the room, don't nobody know you. You show them who you are. You show them who you are. Don't let people define you. You define yourself. Okay?